It's the early hours of this morning, and a tank shell has just hit Nasser Hospital in Khan Younis. The medical staff are in a desperate struggle to save the patients. The smoke's not cleared, there's nowhere to hide, but they keep going. Dr. Mohammed Harara is filming. We've been attacked by the Israeli army at the hospital, he says. Outside, the shooting is getting louder. Yesterday, some medical staff, patients and families tried to leave the hospital, but say they were shot at by the Israelis, so had to return. Overnight, Israeli soldiers now inside the hospital told them they had to leave, apart from a few doctors and patients who can't move. So they went, across the devastation left by airstrikes. It's terrifying to stay, terrifying to leave. And how do you pick your way through the battlescape of Khan Younis? How do you get the old people out?
The orthopedic department has been completely destroyed. The entire complex was in chaos. A little while before this, a quadcopter attacked us in the conference room where there were doctors and nurses during their break between their shifts. It fired at them randomly. One doctor was hit by a piece of shrapnel in his head, but his condition isn't critical.
Somehow, some patients managed to get out. Others were killed or further injured. Where will they get treatment now? 2/3 of Gaza's hospitals can no longer function.
I had been injured when the Israelis fired shrapnel and bullets at us before. We went to Nasser Hospital and I was treated there for 20 days. They besieged us and announced today using microphones that we should evacuate, even the patients. Only those who cannot walk were allowed to stay.
The Israel Defense Force today put out helmet cam footage of their operations in Khan Younis. Released hostages have said they were held at Nasser Hospital, and the IDF may have been hoping to find more, or their bodies.
Because Hamas terrorists are likely hiding behind injured civilians inside Nasser Hospital right now, and appear to have used the hospital to hide our hostages there too. The IDF is conducting a precise and limited operation inside Nasser Hospital.
For weeks, the hospital has continued to function despite being besieged and right in the middle of the fighting. 5 days ago, Dr. Amira Al-Asuli rushed to the rescue when news came in that someone had been shot at the hospital entrance. She and her colleagues did all they could to save his life. We don't know if they succeeded. And what about this child, also injured just outside the hospital? We don't know if he survived. We just know that someone tried to save him. And when it was too dangerous to go for water, they improvised a pulley system. Such determination to keep patients alive in the face of overwhelming odds. Those forced to leave Nasser Hospital are now in Rafah. The town is already full of refugees and there's nowhere to stay. It's also Israel's next target.